In what was a breathless encounter, really, in the North East. Shame there had to be a loser in the end, but what a way for Kevin De Bruyne to steal the headlines.
Honestly, I'm not complaining. I saw Alan's serious face before, so I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy with that. But no, I mean, to come on at 2-1, I think personally Newcastle were defending quite well. Although they were deep and giving the ball back, they seemed to manage to contain City. But for whatever reason, whoever defends deep can't contain Kevin De Bruyne with either him shooting from outside the box or the passes he looks for and tries to play, which I don't think no other player would try and play, but he's always gets to the target. Yeah.
It was interesting because midway through that second half, City were asking all the questions. I think you were asking for changes for Newcastle, who looked spent. Yeah. But when City, the defending champions, have a player of that quality to call upon, that speaks volumes, right?
Yeah, that's the difference. There's no doubt about it. I mean, that's where Newcastle have struggled. It's when you're tiring, when you're looking for something different, you look to the bench and think, OK, where's the quality? And that's the difference today. When Pep looks to the bench and he's got this guy to come on. I mean, we spoke about Doku and Phil Foden in that 10 role. Yeah. They got into that position so many times in the first half, but not one of them were able to do that. I mean, that... some people say, oh, right, a bit of a fluke through the legs. He's actually picked his place to perfection. He knows exactly how he wants to hit it. He knows exactly where he wants to hit it. And that's why it's perfection. And that's why he's near genius on a football pitch. He's just such a fantastic player. And you can imagine the lift he gives all the other players, you know, when they see him coming off the bench. They're toiling away, they're struggling away, they're wearing Newcastle down, but they're just missing that little bit of quality. And he comes off the bench and he gives them that huge amount of quality. I mean, the goal and then the pass. I mean, everything that City did when he just went through him, as soon as he came on, you could see the players sort of lift up in confidence and give him the ball every time.
Sean, how good was the assist for Oscar Bob?
The assist was unbelievable. He's like a quarterback. Look, he just drops back and he just touch at his feet. But the first touch from Oscar here, where he kills the ball, and then a quick feet there from a young lad, it's
but you can't, from that point of view, you know, you might get away with that with other players, but you can't give De Bruyne that time to pick his head up and look where the runners are going. I mean, yes, the pass is great, but the touch and then the finish to go around Dubravka with the left foot and then stick it in with the right foot is a brilliant pass, absolutely. But you've got to also credit him for that finish. Such composure, incredible.
That finish is in keeping with what we're hearing from Manchester City. Phil Foden, actually, not that long ago, was talking about Oscar Bob being a more mature player at his age now than when Phil Foden was 20 himself. And we already know how good Phil Foden is. I mean, that says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course it does. And I think for Oscar, when players like, even whether young or old, if they're talking about you like that, that should be a highlight. That should say to you, keep going. There's more for me to come. If people like that are speaking about me, why not let the rest of the football world talk about me in that exact same way?
Yeah. Special moment then for the 20-year-old with his first senior goal. Oscar Bob is talking now to Jules Breach.
Oscar, congratulations. That must have been an incredible match to be involved in. And how does it feel for you to score your first Premier League goal and for it to be the winner here at St James's Park?
Amazing feeling. I mean, just watching from the bench, it was such a high-tempo match. And then when I got the shot that was coming on, the manager told me, go on and score. So, yeah, thankfully I could.
You've only made your first senior appearance in this Manchester City team this season. It must feel so good to get your first Premier League goal. Oh,
no, it's a lifelong dream, and to do it with the best team in the world is... I can't explain it, yeah.
And you scored at the end of the pitch where the Manchester City fans, albeit very high up in the stadium, you can hear them from down here, can't you?
No, I mean, we could hear them all game, so... Yeah, they helped us a lot today, and yeah, we just have to say thank you, and this win is for them.
A word for your teammate as well. That ball for your goal from Kevin De Bruyne, how good is it to have him back in the team?
Oh, I said thank you to him after. I mean, he's the only one in the world that can do that, so to get to play with him is great.
Obviously, he's been out injured for quite some time now. Everyone's been talking about his return, but what's it like for you as players to now look around the dressing room and see Kevin De Bruyne sat back there amongst you?
Oh, I mean, not only one of the greatest players in the Premier League, he's also like a very nice guy. Helps the young lads a lot, so just having him back, I mean, he's one of our captains, so I think it definitely helps strengthen the team.
A massive win for you and your first Premier League goal. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
It's the stuff of dreams, isn't it? I mean, Roy the Rovers stuff, as you hear on these shores, at just 20, signed by City, at the age of just 16, has gone through their academy, first arrived from Vålerenga, and he talks about Kevin De Bruyne being one of the best players in the world to set him up in the way that he did. I mean, it doesn't get much better, really, when you're that age, at a team like that.
Well, he won't be sleeping tonight, that's for sure. He'll be full of excitement. He'll be running through the pass, the touches, the finish, the feeling, the magical feeling that he'll get from scoring that goal, and the confidence and the belief that it will give him going forward, that he belongs at this level and he can play at this level. Yeah, as much as it's hurt Newcastle, I'd love seeing the excitement of young players who have worked hard to get onto the stage and they get their chance, and he's got his first goal. So, yeah, what a night for him.
Yeah, and not wanting to put already too much on his shoulders, but have City already unearthed a gem for you?
Yes, he's got the potential to be more than that. Personally, I've seen him. I'm lucky enough to have a chance to chat with him, and he's very, very humble, very polite, and all he wants to do is play football and work hard. And there's these rewards for doing it. So I think for me, he can only get better. But it makes you do think. You can understand why it's easy for Man City to let go of certain youngsters, because they have people like that in the pipeline to kind of nurture and fill in. And for me, he's kind of a mix between Cole and Phil. I think he's got Phil's like directness, but he's also got Cole Palmer's like kind of swagger with like the lazy attitude, and not attitude, but I mean the swagger. So I think he's going to be a phenomenal player, personally.
Yeah, well, Oscar Bob there, obviously giving Kevin De Bruyne his due credit for his part in his goal. But when he did step off the bench, the Belgian, it was a game that was crying out for someone to unlock this deep-lying Newcastle defence. And he did just that, really.
And he did. And he was taking the players in weird positions. Like, for me, he always does the overlap, but he's a centre midfielder. Your midfielders are not going to track him out there. So he takes him into dangerous areas, and he just hangs back and waits for the overloads. And the passes he picks, like here again, he's just running you. Puts the ball in dangerous areas all the time, and then you see her again here. And this is the area Alan highlighted before the game, and we were speaking about at half-time. If you're going to give that much space away in there, it's going to cause you problems eventually. And this pass here is just something else. And the first touch, and then the quick, it's for him. He most probably does that every day in training, and the players are so used to seeing it that when they see him get on the ball, they just go and expect it to come and anticipate. Because I felt like there, Oscar Bob didn't really care what Kieran Trippier was doing. It's like he almost knew he's not going to touch the ball and it's going to drop on my foot. And look at that! Look, his stats speak for itself.
I mean, if ever there were figures that cried out cameo performance, that has to be it.
You could see everyone groan, Manish, on the pitch when he came on.
Were you groaning as well?
You could see everyone sort of feel, oh, here we go. This is the moment. This is where we're going to improve. This is where we're going to get where our talisman is back. I've been out, unfortunately, injured for 6 and 7 months, and Kevin's been out for 5 months. Trust me, it's really difficult to get back into the pace of the game. He just seamlessly walked into that team there with 20 minutes left and thought, give me the ball, I'll change things for you. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, much to the delight of their head coach, no doubt. Here's Pep Guardiola.
Pep, wow, it was a game that had everything. Enjoy that?
A lot. Yeah. No words to describe the performance. Of course, here we are judged for the results, because playing like this, like we played today against that team in this stadium, and the way we played and the chances, and if you concede, even a win will be judged how poor we are, the lack of mentality. These guys don't have what they have to do, and instead, like we won, we prove the biggest quality that we have.
Incredible goals in the game from both sides, but how special was the winner from Oscar Bob?
No, of course. Listen, we start the game weird for the action, so we lost John Stones and Eddie because the lineup in a clear offside don't do what they have to do, and after that, look what happened. And it was weird, but we took the game in our control. We scored a goal, we had chances, we arrived in small pockets really well, and But what the 2 goals is an incredible transition team, quite similar from Liverpool, and the 2 goals from Isaac and Gordon is just, what can I do? It's just heads off. Okay, maybe we can defend and bring him outside, but they are really, really good. But we spoke in a half time, so here, no one give up and move forward. Let's go. Stick with the plan, continue to do it, and we will score and we will do it. And after, of course, the magician from Kevin and Oscar and the lads, we good one.
Well, that's the thing. You bring Kevin De Bruyne on. It only took him 4.5 minutes, 5 touches before he scored. Even though you have a team full of treble-winning superstars, is he just on another level?
Yeah, it is. So I'm so grumpy with Kevin and upset because the first touch was a free kick and he could not score. And this is not fair. You know, Kevin having a special thing, and now I think his physical conditions for just minutes, you know, when the opponents are a bit tired for 35, 40 minutes, and especially Oscar and Kevin have a sense of goal more than maybe Jeremy or another player. So Phil was outstanding. Everyone was really, really good.
It was outstanding to watch. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and they've got a 13-day break until their next game, which is Spurs in the FA Cup. I mean, what better way to go into their own midwinter break right now?
It's perfect. I think, like you said, when you come back from the Club World Cup, before they went, everyone was saying they're quite wobbly with the draws, and obviously the loss to Aston Villa. They go away to the Club World Cup, they win those 2 games, and like Alan said, with the sun on their back, it might revitalise them. They come back to play a tough team, who for me were in good form at the time at Everton at Goodison Park. They win that game, and then obviously they win the following games, and they've just set themselves up perfectly. And at the minute, they're in a position where it feels like they're going to keep winning, and if they can, when Haaland comes back, the likelihood is even better for him.
And no doubt, you know, the players, the clubs themselves, Liverpool, Villa, Arsenal, they would have all been watching on, even Tottenham, to see City maybe coming unstuck after that first half performance. They will be demoralised, but the spirit in that City camp right now will do wonders for their confidence.
Yeah, you've got to give them, that's what really good players and coaches and teams do. When they're up against it, which you're going to be at times during the season. They've been there, they've had it all before Man City, so they know what to expect. That's why when you listen to Pep there, he's going in at half-time and saying to the players, don't panic, stick to the game plan, keep getting in the pockets and things will happen. Step up another 10 yards, push Newcastle for, and no panic at all. And that's what happens at that football club, because it's a club that's used to success now. So they know that if they keep playing the way they are, and it will happen. It will eventually change. And if it doesn't, then players will come off the bench and try and change it that way. And that's the beauty. And all the other clubs, Liverpool, Arsenal, Villa, Tottenham, if they're all honest, they're all expecting City to go on a run. They know that Man City are going to go on a run, and they're going to be at the top of the game if they're going to challenge them come the end of the season.
Let's have a look at the story of the first half. And what was a brilliant first 45. 3 top-quality goals. Don't forget, Ederson went off injured after the first 4 minutes. City, despite that setback, then took the lead through Bernardo Silva with the most cheekiest of finishes, Sean.
Yeah, it was great balling from Walks, but the flick on himself, on the half volley, there's Walker hugging that space and making Gordon work hard, and this one time he didn't go with him, but the ball that Walker puts in is perfect for this sort of touch, and the execution on it is beautiful from Bernardo. Just on the half volley, cheeky little flick, far corner.
Brilliant, isn't it? Such a clever, I mean, it's really difficult, but it's a clever finish. The ability is just unbelievable.
But then Newcastle, Alan, they hit back in double quick time, 2 goals in 2 minutes and 19 seconds.
Yeah, the Newcastle did really well, and there's 2 really good finishes as well. One from Isak with that. I mean, Kyle Walker will be really disappointed because he's been done on both occasions, and letting his player come back in on the right foot and curl it in rather than show them down to the towards the byline. And yeah, it's a clever. They played this high line, Man City. It didn't work for them in that first half. And with the pace and the ability of him, and with Anthony Gordon, they got punished. But it was 2 clever finishes, particularly from him.
Yeah, City looking uncharacteristically shaky at the back. Kyle Walker was obviously given a couple of scares, including 2 minutes later. Anthony Gordon again down the left.
Yeah, well, when I was watching, I thought Kyle could have got to the ball a bit quicker. I think get tighter to him to not allow him that space to get his head up and see whereabouts he is on there. Like here he's jogging and then all of a sudden the speed kicks in when he realises. I think himself will know if he does that straight away. But take nothing away from Gordon, the finish that he executed is beautifully taken.
Yeah. But why were City not quite at it in that first half?
I wouldn't say they're not quite at it. I would sit here and say I've never seen them play a high line so much like that. And I don't think they even changed that in the second half. I think what they changed in the second half was the fact that with the high line, there was more pressure on the ball from the front three in the midfield, which made, I felt like, the passes for Trippier or whoever was playing it is harder to pick out. So every time they rushed the ball, City kind of picked up the pieces, and I felt like they didn't do that in the first half.
That's a really risky game playing Newcastle at St James's Park with the way they press and then the turnover, and then to play that high line against pace, real top quality pace in terms of Isak and in Gordon. And they were punished in that first half. Two great finishes, yes, but they got done a few times with that high line.
Yeah, OK. And that's where we're going to have to leave today's Matchday Live after a brilliant game at St James's Park. My thanks to Sean and to Alan. And Manchester City, well, they've started 2024 in an impressive fashion. Is that the sound of their juggernaut starting to roll on?